Sri Guru Charitra, Chapter 29 Significance and Power of Vibhuti. In this chapter, the great power of the holy ashes is further explained. The mere touch of holy ash on the body of sage Vamadeva got the Maharakshasa liberated. Vibhuti Dharana Mantra Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiya Mamrutat. The one who spreads a fragrance of Vibhuti around himself and all around, who fosters the worldly well-being as well as the spiritual well-being of all, that three-eyed Lord, him I worship. O you, the Supreme One, like the ripened cucumber which severs itself from the creeper and drops off, grant release for me from death, from the unending cycle of births and deaths, but pray, never cause severance for me from immortality, and may I ever abide in awareness of thee. Siddha Yogi continued the narrative to Namdharak as follows. Trivikrama Bharati requested Sri Narasimha Saraswati to enlighten them about Bhasma Mahima and how it possesses such great power as they just witnessed in the Matanga episode. Sri Narasimha Saraswati then narrated the following anecdote. There used to be one yogi called Vamadeva. He used to smear his body always with bhasma. His hair was matted and he used to wear the bark of trees for his garment. He was a very exalted yogi. He had won over all the human frailties, sublimated his senses and conquered the 6 inner enemies. Shadripus, likes, dislikes, greed, delusion, ego and pride, envy and jealousy, which enslave man. He was a fully realized soul and a Brahmagnani. He used to be always wandering, visiting holy places. One day he came to the Kraunacharanya forest. This forest was full of wild beasts. There were also ghosts and Brahmarakshasas inhabiting the forest. One Brahmarakshasa noticed Vamadeva entering the forest and he was very happy that he would be having a good feast with the body of the yogi. He fell upon him with a view to eating him up, but Vamadeva was least perturbed and remained steady and calm. The contact with the bhasma on the body of Vamadeva wrought an instant and total transformation of the Brahmarakshasa. He was totally changed, rid of his demonic nature by the contact with the bhasma. He prayed to Vamadeva to free him from the cycle of birth and death. He told Vamadeva that by the mere contact with the bhasma, he gained the memory of all his past 25 births. He started recounting them to Vamadeva. The Brahmarakshasa said he was actually a king of Yavandesh, but he had a very vicious and lustful nature. He led a very sensuous life, running after women always, without any decency, compunction and consideration. His sins crossed all bounds and limits. In an encounter with an enemy king, he was killed. He was dragged to the court of Yama. He was subjected to great torture in hell, and later he had to take several births only because of all his sins. He was born as a tiger in one birth, as a wolf in the second birth, as a dog in the third birth, as a camel in the fourth, as a monkey in the fifth, then as a cat, thereafter as a tortoise, then as a frog, and so on. He had suffered much, all of his own making though. Now the mere touch with bhasma had so much soothed his soul, and never before had he felt such peace. He further said that his hunger, which never got satiated normally, however many animals or persons he might eat, was now totally appeased, and that he was feeling a great sense of peace and happiness. He prayed that he should be enlightened as to how the bhasma came to possess such great redeeming power. Vamadeva told the Rakshasa that the power of bhasma is beyond all description and is beyond the comprehension of any except of Lord Shiva. Shiva only knows, he alone knows the glorious power of bhasma. That is why he, Shiva, smears his whole body with bhasma, always. Vamadeva told that there lived once a Brahmin in Dravida Desa. He took to bad ways of life. He took to theft. Once when he was committing a theft, he was caught and beaten up. He died and his body was thrown in the cemetery. In the cemetery at that time, a dog was sitting on the chitta bhasma, ashes of a burnt corpse. That dog saw the body of the dead Brahmin, came and sat down on the body, sniffing it all over. As it was doing so, the chitta bhasma from its body fell over the body of the corpse. No sooner did the chitta bhasma fall over the body of the corpse Then the Shivadutas appeared over there, stopping the Yamadutas, who had already come there to take away the jiva of the evil man. A dispute arose between the servants of Yama and Shiva. The guards of Yama were claiming the jiva because the sins committed by the man were countless, and the place he deserved was nowhere else but hell. But the Shivadutas said that the touch of bhasma on the body, all his sins, however heinous they might have been, had been burnt off and expiated. It is Lord Shankara's command that whenever they see a dead person's body with bhasma smeared on the forehead or even on any part of the body, they should fetch that jiva to Kailash. Thus saying, the Shivadutas snatched away the jiva from the Yamaduta's hand and took it away to Lord Kailash. When this was reported by Yamadutas to Lord Yama, the latter went to Shiva in anger and complained to him about the intrusion, high-handedness and interference of the Shivadutas, preventing his servants from discharging their duties and carrying out justice. He complained how could dharma be protected and the rule of law enforced by him in the world under such circumstances. Shiva then told Yama that the Bhasma Dharma is the highest dharma and it annuls and supersedes all other codes and injunctions of dharma. He told Yamadharmaraja to tell his servants that they should abstain from approaching the bodies of the dead smeared with or wearing the marks of Bhasma. Such was the Mahima of Bhasma, said Vamadeva to the Brahma Rakshasa. The Rakshasa requested Vamadeva to teach and explain to him the Bhasma Dharana Vidhi. Vamadeva explained the same through another anecdote. Once Lord Shiva and Parvati went to the Mandara mountain. All the gods, rishis, apsaras, gandharvas, yakshas, kinnaras, rudragan, Shivadutas came and assembled over there. Lord Shiva was seated on his throne. By his side was seated Mother Parvati, golden in complexion and bedecked in the richest jewelry and adorned with beautiful flowers. She was radiating all splendor. All were absorbed in the ecstasy of the darshan of the divine couple, the mother and father of the universe. Sanat Kumara Rishi prayed to Shiva to teach them the one Dharma Vidhi, which will be simple to be observed by all and yet will confer all the four Purusharthas, the four chief aims of life, Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha, and which will destroy all the sins, endow bodily and mental purity, and also intellectual illumination. Lord Shiva said there is one Dharma Vidhi which is simple and can be followed by each and every one and which will confer all good and save men from all the evils of the world. This Vidhi is called the Tripundra Bhasma Dharana Vidhi. The Bhasma is symbolic of the ultimate truth of all matter. It has a spiritual significance in that it is changeless, immutable like Godhead. It is colorless or white, so to say, indicating purity. In Jabalopanishad, Bhasma Vidhi is described in great detail. Agani is a presiding deity for Bhasma. The ash from the sacrificial fire is most sacred. In the absence of it, ash prepared from cow dung is to be used. A little of ash is to be taken, reciting the Sadyojata mantra. While reciting the Manastoka mantra, a little water is to be added and mixed in it with the aid of the thumb. Then chanting the Trayambakam Yajamahe mantra, it has to be taken near the forehead, and while reciting the Trayayusham Jamadagne mantra, the same is to be applied in 3 lines, that is Tripundra Dharana. First, with the aid of the middle and ring fingers, 2 lines are to be applied. The top one and the bottom are from left to the right. Then, with the aid of the thumb, the middle line is to be applied, drawing it from right to the left. The marks are not to extend beyond the sides of the eyebrows. With devotion, these marks are to be always worn on the forehead. The first line is Brahma Devata and is symbolic of Rig Veda. It is denoted by A. It endows Kriya Shakti. The second line is Vishnu Devata and is symbolic of Yajur Veda. It is denoted by U. It endows Ichha Shakti. The third line is Maheshwara and is symbolic of Samaveda. It is denoted by Ma. It endows Jnana Shakti. Bhasma Dharana can be done by one and all, and during all stages of life. It will cure all the evils of the body, mind and spirit. It ensures mental purity, intellectual illumination and spiritual enlightenment in their life, and in the life beyond it opens up the gates of Kailasha for him, which is the eternal abode of supreme peace and beatitude, Prashanti. Lord Shiva finally said that for destroying one's sins, there is nothing comparable to doing Bhasma Dharana, but it should be done with full faith and devotion. For one who applies ashes on his forehead and wears a Rudraksha Mala on his neck, there will be nothing wanting for him either in this life or in the life beyond. That was what Lord Shiva explained to Sanat Kumara Rishi and all the assembled sages. Hearing the divine glory of Bhasma, the Rakshasa sought the Bhasma from Vamadeva and applied it upon himself. His Rakshasa form totally changed and he got a new splendorous body. A divine vehicle came and took him away to Kailash. Thus ends the 29th chapter of Sri Guru Charitra, describing the Bhasma Mahima. Glory to the all-merciful, the omnipresent, and the ever-responsive Gurunath.